What is up, guys? Welcome back. Thank you for joining me in another video. So it is December 2017 and we do have an exotic capture event going on right now. So I know a lot of people kind of hoped that it would be snowies kind of making their reappearance. Unfortunately, it looks like that 433 is still holding out on the snowies. But we do have this nice little Rudolph popping up in our story modes. And, you know, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about the top places that you can kind of pick up Rudolph, like I've kind of done in the past with some other videos. Just to see that it, you know, just in case this kind of thing helps people who might not know all the places that you can actually get a Rudolph. So the first place that you can get a Rudolph is, of course, by purchasing using the 990 Astro Gems. You can purchase the Rudolph packs, and they're calling that Rudolph Christmas gift. And it looks like they have actually limited the purchases to 3. So I guess you can't purchase over buy Rudolphs at this point. But you know, this is generally where they prefer you to kind of pick up the exotics. At least that's what it seems like in the past. But right now it looks like you can only get 3. And if you buy 2 of the packs, then you end up getting a light dark egg. If you buy 3 of the packs, you end up getting a gleam egg. And so those are the kind of extra benefits of buying the pack. Now, is it really worth 990 gems per pack to actually purchase Rudolph? Probably not, but you know, guys, you have to make that decision for yourself. You know what your Astro Gem looks like, what your farm time looks like. So, you know, you have to make that decision on your own, based on your own circumstances and your own gaming. But that is one place to pick up. That is the first place to pick up a Rudolph. And the second place to kind of get a Rudolph is through Fusion. So I'm kind of jumping around a bit. So the packs are for strictly the wood Rudolphs, but of course, as usual, we do have light dark versions of our exotic monster. And unfortunately, it looks like 433 has gone a little bit crazy with the requirements for picking up the light or dark Rudolph. So for some reason, someone decided it was a good idea to require us to capture or to create an Evo 3 Noel, which is the Evo 3 version of Rudolph, and fuse that with an Evo 2 version of Rudolph. So both of these are wood, in order to fuse either the light or dark one. So it takes an Evo 3 Rudolph plus an Evo 2 Rudolph to give you an Evo 1 light or dark Rudolph. And the problem with that is, of course, Evo 3 takes you 16 monsters to make, and then the Evo 2 takes you 4 monsters to make. And so to get an Evo 1 light or dark, you will have to put in 20 wood Rudolphs in order to fuse light or dark. And that just seems astronomical to me, unless you're a super farmer or you're using some type of macros or scripts, or you know, to do something to run these. There's just no way most people are going to be able to create both of the Rudolphs. It's a challenge just when it's an Evo 1 plus an Evo 2 to create these guys. But this threshold seems extremely high, but that's a requirement, guys. So definitely choose which one would work best for your team, either the light or the dark. And I'll talk about, you know, the kind of the skills, Rudolph skills, in a different video to conserve time. But yeah, but the number one thing here is pick the one that you want the most and go after that one. And if you don't think you can put together 20 Rudolphs and plus another 15 Rudolphs, Evo 3 this one, and that is not counting gleams. So gleams are, you know, of course, something you can throw in there. If you don't think you can do that, then you may want to just focus on the wood one. But this requirement is just, it's over the top, in my opinion. So below that in the Fusion, it is something I want to talk about. So below the Fusion for light dark, you do kind of have this weird patch of where if you mix an Evo 1 lighter dark with an Evo 1 wood, you get the same thing out of that Fusion. And what that is, guys, is that is for a gem reroll. So you know, this is kind of 433. This is likely 433 responding to a lot of the outcry from the community, in that if you don't get a monster with a square and there's some reason to build that monster on crit, you are extremely out of luck, considering the amount of resources it took to create that lighter dark monster. So below the two that use the Evo 3 and Evo 2 versions for Fusion, the Fusion below that, they use the Evo 1 versions of Rudolph. That is for gem reroll. So definitely make use of that to either get at least a minimum of 1 square, you know, for perfection, of course. 3 squares is probably what most people are would prefer, you know, if they, you know, just because it's easier to farm square dungeons, and so everyone tends to have more of an overabundance of square gems. But, you know, guys, you know, 1 square is probably what you want a minimum of, and then you kind of make the decision if you want to keep going. But, you know, of course, every time you re-roll the Rudolph, you throw in a wood one, that's less of a chance to actually get to the other lighter dark one, depending on whichever the first one that you chose, or getting to an Evo 3. Yeah, but, you know, so that is a thing, guys. So Fusion is the second place that you can kind of pick up Rudolph. And number 3 is going to be soul stones from the shop. So you can pick up soul stones so they have added the Rudolph soul stones from the shop. And I think I saw some posts or some comments somewhere that said that people felt like they had nerfed the soul stone drops in the shop, and I can kind of agree with that. I was feeling like I was seeing a lot more soul stones every time the shop refreshed, but maybe not so much. But maybe that's just because I haven't been paying attention to the shop as much. But the shop is also a place that you can kind of pick up Rudolph. So that's number 3. And of course, the third place to pick up Rudolph is going to be in your Guardian dungeons. So with the Guardian dungeons, it is really important to have active friends. If you have active friends, then, you know, you're more likely to get a few of the Rudolph dungeons popping up, in addition to the kind of trash hermites that, you know, you'll see more of. But you know, that's the other place to get your Rudolph. And then, you know, of course, the other place that most people you're going to get the vast majority of your Rudolphs is going to be just farming story mode. And, you know, the principle, and it always goes back to and exotic capture events always go back to the principles of farming, and that is, the faster you can farm a stage, the more likely you are to get what you want, because you're getting in more runs as you go. So you want to farm whatever stage that you can farm the fastest if you're going for the exotics. But in addition to that, you know, we also have, you know, the benefits of farming extreme mode is going to be that you can also get dragon sigils. And now that we have super evolution materials, that can also play a role in where you're actually farming. So strictly farming for exotics, you want to pick the place that you farm the fastest, and that can be the normal or hard mode. But if you want to pick up dragon sigils, then you want to farm extreme mode. Some materials are exclusive to extreme mode, and so those kind of play a part in where you farm and what stage you farm. But you know, time is always a factor. And so, you know, of course, you know, the story mode is going to be the top place you're going to pick up most of your Rudolphs. But, you know, there are 2 other places to pick up Rudolph. Well, it's one place, but I don't know. It's 2 different Rudolphs. So if you actually go into the shop, you can once again, there's another way to buy a Rudolph. And if you do 300 crystals, then you can buy the variant. If you do 100 crystals, you can buy the regular. And I don't think there's a cap on how many of these you can buy. The problem though is the crystals are extremely hard to get, and most people tend to like to save those and put those toward the boom packs. They have added these skill books, and so some people may want to invest in the skill books. You can also use the crystals to invest in 5 stars or eggs for 5 stars. So there are a lot of other uses for the crystals, and throwing them into the trying to meet requirements for the exotic capture is probably should not be a priority. But that is a place that you can pick up Rudolph. And so, the other thing that we usually see that I have not seen yet, and if you guys see an event, or if an event kind of pops up after I post this video, then of course you can kind of comment on the videos. But at this time, there doesn't seem to be an event that will guarantee at least one free wood Rudolph or Rudolph at this time. Generally, when we have capture events, there is one kind of event. There is like one additional event that goes on concurrent to the capture, and that is like once you complete all the requirements, usually you're guaranteed your exotic at least one exotic monster, and we don't have that yet. But that doesn't mean we won't get one in the next few days. We do still have the D'Artagnan. They did extend the D'Artagnan event, and so I can't remember what it's called, but it's still up on my screen when and it'll be there when I post it. But it's about to end, and maybe when that ends, we will get something where if you complete it, you at least get one Rudolph for free. It's not really free because you have to meet the requirements. But yeah, so that seems to be absent from our current exotic capture. So yeah, guys, I really hope that this kind of helped you kind of figure out where you want to focus on to get your Rudolphs. And with that, I'm going to sign off. So if you like this video, definitely hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. So let me know if there's another place that you can pick up Rudolph that I might have missed. And because it kind of helps the community if they're watching this video. So thank you guys. I will see you in the next video.